Pianos have been around for hundreds of years, but honestly, how many people do you know who can sit down and play any song perfectly? What if there was a device that you could take to almost any piano, plug it in, pick a song from your phone, and the piano would play itself? How cool would that be? Now, getting to this point took a lot longer than I expected, because while version 1 technically worked, it definitely had its fair share of problems. The wiring was an absolute disaster. The frame literally sagged in the middle from the weight of all the solenoids, which made it a nightmare to keep everything lined up. And while I tried to add expression and dynamics, every note was basically either full blast or completely off. And if somebody else wanted to use it, well, good luck. So for version 2, I made a plan. First, fix the wiring, then add real expression, make it reliable, build a real frame, and finally make it easy to control. With the plan in place, it was time to start building. And the first thing I wanted to fix was the wiring. The solution was a custom PCB. Instead of running every wire back to a central control board, each octave got its own dedicated controller. The solenoids connect directly to the board, the power connects directly to the board, and just like that, the giant wiring mess was gone. The entire system became cleaner, lighter, and much easier to work on. But that wasn't even the best part. These new boards gave me independent control over every key, and that unlocked something version 1 never quite got right: expression. In version 1, every note was basically either on or off. Every key was being hit with the exact same force, which made everything sound a little robotic. So alongside the new electronics, I upgraded every single solenoid on the piano to be 24 volts. And the difference was night and day. Soft notes became soft, loud notes became loud, and the result was a piano that sounded much more natural. That's 2 down, 3 to go. With the electronics finally sorted out, it was time to build the new frame. So for version 2, I decided to start over and machine the entire frame out of walnut. For that, I used this Shapeoko 5.1 Pro CNC from Carbide 3D. And a huge thanks to Carbide 3D for sending this machine over. This was actually my first time using a CNC, and getting the machine set up and making my first cut was a lot easier than I expected. I designed all the parts in Fusion 360, generated the toolpaths in Carbide Create, loaded them into the machine, and started cutting. And honestly, I was surprised how quickly I could go from a CAD model to a finished part. Compared to the old design, the results were a huge improvement. All thanks to the Shapeoko. The frame was stronger, the solenoids lined up better, and everything looked much more professional. And of course, every machine needs a name. So I called this one Tried and True, after this horse. Not really sure why, but I thought it sounded pretty cool. Now, all that I had to do was put everything together. Easy. At least, that's what I thought. It turns out designing a PCB was the easy part. 84 solenoids, 7 control boards, hundreds of screws, and what felt like an endless amount of soldering and assembly takes a little longer than I expected. But piece by piece, it started coming together. First the solenoids, then the electronics, and before long, it actually started looking like a real machine. Here we go, just assembled all the solenoids. This thing is pretty heavy. Of course, just because it looked finished did not mean it was finished. There were still a lot of little problems left to solve. One of the biggest was alignment. The old square key pressers had a tendency to rotate and drift out of position, so I redesigned them with a circular shape. Next was power, because when you have 84 solenoids trying to play a piano, you end up needing a ridiculous amount of current. So I upgraded the power supply to handle it. And finally, the pedal. Version 1 never had one. So I designed a dedicated pedal assembly using 2 large solenoids. The entire thing plugs directly into the control box and lets the piano use sustain, just like a player would. I even added a cover to clean up and protect all of the electronics. One fix turned into another, but little by little, Tried and True was finally starting to live up to its name. There was just one thing left, actually making it easy to use. Like I said earlier, good luck getting this thing to play without me. So I built a simple web interface. Connect over Wi-Fi, upload a song, press play. And with that, every box on the checklist was completed. But before putting it to the test, the piano got a proper tuning, the solenoid stickers finally came off, and after months of designing, building, testing, and rebuilding, Tried and True was finally ready. Anyways, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.